I mean, no one's gonna eat your eyes. All we wanna do is eat your brains. We're at an impasse here. Maybe we should compromise. If you open up the door, we'll all come inside and eat your brains.
Zombies, zombies, zombies. They've dominated modern media, whether it's through television or even the gaming landscape. There's 1,000,001 variations on the theme, but tell me, when did you last see a game that put you in the boots of a zombie? Hell, there's only a handful of games that put you in the boots of the quote-unquote villain. I'm thinking of Destroy All Humans, Overlord, Dungeon Keeper, etc. Each of these titles spin their concepts on their head, let you play as the bad guy. Now, Stubs is a game, but it's called that lets you be the zombie, lead the hordes, and destroy the city. You get to be the bad guy.
Don't think I'll forgive and forget, partner.
Stubbs the Zombie is a reverse horror video game developed by Wideload Games and published by Aspyr Media. It was released on October 18th, 2005 for the original Xbox, Windows and Mac. It was then later remastered and put on Steam by byTHQ Nordic in 2021. It's set in a retro-futuristic version of 1959. The game follows Stubbs, who rises from his grave as a zombie and decides to get his revenge on the inhabitants of the Pennsylvania city of Punchbowl by eating their brains and destroying the city. We then get to recover who he was and dismantle the city itself. Now, the game was a moderate success, garnering favourable reviews and sales for the Xbox version. A sequel was planned, but since Wideload's closing in 2014, it's been declared cancelled, which is a real shame. Now, the core gameplay loop consists of getting from the start of a level to the end and using a wide variety of Stubbs' own abilities and backup from your fellow zombies. The game will occasionally mix up the formula with sections requiring you to send hordes to do the work for you, vehicular sections, or areas where Stubbs has to protect others, mostly his zombie horde. You're munching brains, killing the security of Punchbowl before they get to kill you, and this may be in the form of city cops, hillbillies, the army, or even the secret barbershop quartet security forces. It gets a bit gamey. They each bring their own variety of challenges, and the game's got a lot of style to it. Levels are mostly linear, with multiple angles of attack lending themselves to replayability and experimentation. You could charge in on your own, you could possess a gun-toting goon, you could find a hidden route, or just send your horde in to do it for you. The regular zombies will tend to shamble towards wherever you shove them and can be used to body block you from harm, or to whittle down the enemy forces. Sometimes a horde's necessary to get past an obstacle that Stubbs himself can't. Stubbs, as what the devs call the alpha zombie, has access to a wide variety of weapons, literally stuffed inside him. The unholy flatulence Stubbs can let off will stun all nearby enemies at a big circular AoE. Stunned enemies can have their brains eaten without him to soften them up, and they'll join your horde. The gut grenade is probably Stubbs' most useful weapon. You could throw your stomach at the enemy, even sticks. If you press the G key again, it'll blow up, not only doing AoE damage, but also zombifying enemies killed at range. It's good for taking out groups or causing chaos in a backline. Stubbs can also throw his hand, like he's a member of the Addams family, and use it to possess enemies not wearing helmets. Now, he's open to attack, because his consciousness seems to just go into his fingers. So do it behind cover, but once you possess an enemy, you've got infinite ammo with their weapons and can cause havoc. Though enemies killed by gunfire won't be zombified. Stubbs' final weapon's the sputum head, and he can bowl his head at enemies and explode it for massive damage. It's similar to the gut grenade, but it travels along a path on the ground. You can't just roll it over cover. Stubbs' wide arsenal and access to a zombie horde give you as the player a lot of tools to disassemble these levels however you wish, and it's a lot of fun. It's quite an experimental game. One specific example is in the Damned section, where the developer's commentary explains it best.
This is kind of a cool area now, because it's one of the ones in the game where you get to choose how you want to beat it. You could come here from the very beginning and watch that guy go in there and just possess someone, and just, you know, they won't even know you're a bad guy, and just walk right in there and open it. You can be stealthy with the hand and walk through the vent, or you can fight. You can do Rambo on it and just fight your way through it. So it's kind of cool that you kind of get to choose how you want to play the game right there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like air ducts and vents in the game that you don't have to use, but they're there. You could reason to go back and visit some areas.
The graphics are pretty par for the course for a 2005 Xbox game. Even on the PC re-release, the graphics are still a bit dated. They're not 2021 standard. The frame rate's stable, and the assets fit exactly what they were going for in terms of sort of theme and aesthetic. Though you can tell the game was originally made for the previous gen from, the level design and the variety in the levels. I'd say things can get a bit cramped at times. I got a similar feeling playing Postal 2, right? The actual models and such are nice, and the graphics for eating brains or stealing limbs are decent, but overall I'd give the graphics a 7 out of 10. There's just a bit of room for improvement. From a sound design perspective, we've got a whole range on show here, and at times the background ambience can be nice. And at times it can be ear-shatteringly unbalanced.
Pound you into a thick red pig.
The combat dialogue for all the different varieties of enemies is very good, and definitely a top area in terms of design choices. It's all quite themed. I wish we had a bit more of that 50s sound coming through though, in areas like the dance battle. And when the dandies are on the screen, we get quite a lot of it. I just wish we had a bit more, because when it does get used, it's really well done. You're not necessarily playing this game for its graphical fidelity, more for the setup and the gameplay itself. Now, the story tends to be fed in dribs and drabs as we progress through each mission. Normally we've got like a cutscene at the beginning and the end, though sometimes you get one in the middle. And the pacing itself is great. The locales chosen harken back to all the famous trappings you'd find in a zombie genre. Malls, farms, these ruined cities, secret labs. We're basically taking a big tour through the Dawn of the Dead catalogue. The game also has you rooting for Stubbs against the morally dubious management of the city, and there's even a couple of conspiracies sprinkled in that we'll dive into. So expect spoilers from this point as we bite into the brains of Stubbs the Zombie in Rebel Without a Pulse.
Dateline, Pennsylvania, where one city has entered the 21st century 50 years ahead of schedule. Welcome to Punchbowl, a city built for the space age. Here in Punchbowl, experimental science and state-of-the-art technology create a futuristic paradise the likes of which have never been seen. This is a city unlike any other, free of crime, pollution, poverty, and other urban blights. Menial labor is a thing of the past, thanks to all the robots who keep Punchbowl running like clockwork. People can't stop talking about it, and why should they? Punchbowl is a model of good old American ingenuity, much of it developed by famed scientist Dr. Herman Y., now a naturalized American citizen working for the good guys. But who's funding this fantastic foray into futurism? Why, none other than billionaire playboy industrialist Andrew Munday. America's favorite rags-to-riches story is the visionary who's calling the shots in this town. At the grand opening ceremony this morning, the world's richest man had this to say.
Here in Punchbowl, for the first time in human history, life is what it was meant to be, free of all unpleasantness. Why, someday the entire world will be like Punchbowl, but for now, it stands alone, a beacon of purity and human potential in a world of social upheaval and moral turpitude.
Bold words from a bold man. But perhaps the only thing more unlikely than this orphan's rise to fame and fortune is the city he's built, where everyone is invited to drink their fill of the future, and no one has a care in the world.
Oh my goodness!
Get your hands off my weenie!
Good morning. Is everything okay?
He stole my hot dog!
Well, that wasn't very nice. Stealing isn't allowed in Punchbowl. You'll have to give it back.
Oh.
If you'd like something to eat, I can show you one of Punchbowl's many fine dining establishments.
Yeah, go eat something else, jerk. Go on, get out of here.
Now, we're introduced to our protagonist Stubbs, interrupting the date of two young teens. This whole section works as the tutorial for the basic mechanics of Stubbs, movement, looking around, etc. It also serves to introduce the outbreak. Stubbs infects the young couple, and some police officers who come to respond.
Why me? Stop hitting me!
Once we amass a sizable horde, we learn about directing said horde, and then the game opens up slightly. The first zone was quite a tight tutorial, whereas the second has the text upon entry, eat brains, have fun.
Hey! Oh no!
Time to split.
We learn that today's the opening day for Punchbowl, and probably the last day for it too.
Punchbowl monorail is the best way to get around the city.
This is the chief! What the hell is going on out there? You would not believe the calls we're getting at the station! Help me! Help me! Something's trying to eat my brain! Sounds like a sick dog or something. You boys better lock things down pronto! Mr. Monday wants everything perfect today! Masters, out!
Anyone else out of bullets? Yep.
The monorail is arriving. Please keep clear of the track.
Welcome to the Fertile Crescent biome, where the grass is
We even get introduced to a hot little Marilyn Monroe type, and these cutscenes are so funny. The comedy's top notch, and it keeps you going to see what's next. With that cutscene, we're in the biodome.
Is everything satisfactory, Miss Monday?
Yes, Sonny.
Sure you don't need anything? A cold drink?
No.
Cigarette?
No.
Foot massage?
Oh, I'm... What?
No, nothing. Never mind.
You're a nice man, Mr. Skegness, but don't you have better things to do than make passes at your employer's mother?
I'm just doing my job, Miss Monday. Andrew asked me to look after you, and I'm going to make sure nothing unseemly happens on this wonderful,
Sonny.
fabulous,
Sonny.
huge
Eyes up here.
day. Better come with me, Miss Monday. This doesn't look like a safe place for you. Perhaps we can go back to my place.
Nice try, Mr. Skegness!
Stubbs definitely takes a bit of a sandbox approach for most of its levels. Some of them are a little bit more linear and puzzle directed, but for the most part, the developers give you a lot of tools and just say, have at it. Now, the biodome does play out a little differently to the last level. We're introduced to vehicles and the damage they can do to citizens. Roll around, fling dookie at everyone, sounds like a riot, right? My only complaint with this zone is that it's quite easy to get lost and you have to activate a few buttons to exit, but they're not the easiest to find. Once you get out of the loop with the poop wagon, you're introduced to the gut grenade.
Wasn't that your pancreas?
It's such a useful bit of Stubbs' kit, and it takes a bit of getting used to throw it, but it's a doozy. Genuinely the most useful ability he's got in the game. Probably seconded only to possession itself. And we fight our way out of the biodome, e.g. eat a load of nerd brains and avoid gunfire from the cops. And we get introduced to Otis Monday, a true Brexiteer.
Well, Galday, the dead walk. Oh, mighty voices in my head, I'll never doubt you again. The commies have infiltrated this country so completely that even the dead have turned against us. Well, the Quaker State Irregulars ain't go without a fight.
Morning, Pump Bud.
Yellow Rap?
Yeah, but make it snappy. We're in the middle of a zombie holocaust.
Okie dokie, 1 tank of extra leaded coming right up.
I'm not sure I have enough cash to cover
Oh, never you mind, sir. It's on the house.
No, there's no need for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure, officers. My pleasure. Hey, want me to look under the hood?
No, I need to use the restroom.
Oh, it's round the back.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll try to keep from eloping with the car.
Boy, you know, it's a good thing you stopped by, officer. There's been a bit of lawlessness this afternoon.
Tell me about it.
Strangest thing, this gentleman, a very ill one by the look of it.
Wait a minute. Green skin, festering wound in his guts, ugly tie.
I'm never gonna get used to seeing that. Huh. Ain't that a kick in the head?
What's that?
What?
We then accidentally stumble into the police station, and the difficulty ramps up slightly. Again, now there's not too much environmental storytelling, a lot of the story is just told through these cutscenes. The police station's a fun little jaunt. Instead of wide open areas, things are kept quite tight, with multiple ways to progress through the station. This was actually one of the first areas the developers mentioned they had got functional, and it's the first level where you've pretty much got access to all your abilities from the jump. I found it a lot of fun trying to build up a huge horde, whilst both using them to overpower the police and protecting the zombies from gunfire using my abilities. Eventually though, you'll hit the midpoint.
Let me give you a
Got one over here.
Listen up, you brain-eating cretin! Your little cannibal joyride is over! My men are cleaning the rest of the zombie filth off the streets, and as for you, I'm gonna fix your wagon personally. Dr. Y is on his way over right now, but I'll be dancing on your grave long before he arrives. I wonder if there'll be anything left for him to dissect.
We can't let those thugs destroy such a fascinating and potentially useful specimen.
Not to worry, old chap. We'll do it ourselves. Where's the bone saw?
I thought you had it.
With Stubbs captured, you have to remove your own arm and use it to navigate to find a suitable host worthy of possessing. From there, you're using either stealth or pure firepower to free Stubbs. Now when you possess someone, you have infinite ammo with their gun, or you can remain with the gun in the pocket and just sneak past people. And it was a very fun twist on the gameplay we've had so far, and it shows you the power of Stubbs' possession ability. Props to the developers for such variety.
They're crawling out of the woodwork.
Oh, that was my second favorite arm.
Eventually Stubbs is free and we begin a jailbreak.
And I shoot with that
They're working on.
Until eventually we encounter the police chief.
I'm glad you came directly to my office. It's much more convenient if I kill you here. You're about to learn you can't escape the long arm of the law. I told you I would dance in your grave, and I meant it.
The dance battle, while unexpected, I was very happy to see. It's just so silly and I love it. Eventually, all the dancing leads us to the shopping district where we start our next level.
Beat that, zombie!
For the massive explosion that destroyed the Punchbowl police station, or...
Oh, Fred. I think we're moving a little fast.
Relax, baby. Ted would have wanted it this way.
I watched him die.
Yeah, like 3 hours ago. Don't live in the past, Judy. It's time to move on.
Oh, Ted. Fred. 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 Oh.
Now the shopping district shows a return to the big open levels, just with an expanded toolkit this time, and more zombies to throw into our horde at one time. It's just a big expansion on the previous open levels. There's not too much to comment on here besides the introduction of the head. Think of the ability like a big explosive bowling ball. The rest just a bit of a jaunt of doing what we'd done previously, that is, eating brains, amassing the horde and just tackling these problems piece by piece. The game provides the player with big pieces to tackle in their own inventive ways. These levels aren't so much puzzles as they are ripe for experimentation, and I think you could replay the same levels over and over and find different routes through them each time. There's not really a wrong answer, but it won't always be that way. Now after chomping enough skulls, we eventually make it to the mall.
Join us! Take up arms and fight with the Quaker state irregulars! We licked Hitler, and we can lick the hordes of undead Reds! Now, who's with me?
So his wife says, "That's not a pig, that's a duck." And the farmer says, "I wasn't talking to you."
I don't get it.
That's 'cause you're dumb, Chad. What was that?
The mall introduces us to the hillbillies. Where the police had handguns, these guys have double barrels of rifles. Not nice.
To the Punchbowl Mall, where your dollar goes farther. Welcome to Punchbowl.
The difficulty ramps up here. As Stubb attacks a rather small mall, it's quite a small set piece, but it's inspired by the Water Tower Plaza in Chicago. The level consists of us traversing the mall vertically until we hit a boss at the top, and I'll let the developers tell you more about it.
First was trying to figure out what this atrium should look like. I wound up walking around in a bunch of a bunch of malls here in Chicago. And I think the one that inspired this the most was probably the Water Tower Plaza here. Just because there's this wonderful central elevator thing that they have going on, and you've got these big round walkways that let you look up and down, and the overpasses and the overhangs very much mimic what's going on in that. If you ever get a chance to come to Chicago, you should definitely go check out that mall, but don't go looking for any zombies in it.
It's funny you say that because I also thought, we didn't talk about this, but I also thought of the water tower when working on this. There's a part right when you enter where you're going up these escalators and there's these little water fountains that shoot these little like globs of water, and I always try to catch them. So once again, we've got the water fountains inside here. I couldn't quite pull that off, but we've got some fountain sprays inside here. Those are always fun.
I'll be in the truck. You finish them all.
I got a blade in my head.
We eventually work our way to the top of the various stairs and catwalks until we encounter our next boss. Some big bubba chainsaw wielding guy, and he's really tanky. You just have to get into a rhythm with hitting him and avoiding his swings. You can't really rely on your horde to take him out, and the gut grenade doesn't do too much to him. Once he is taken out, however, we encounter Otis Monday and end up hitching a ride to his farm. The level was short-lived but memorable, though not the sort of Dawn of the Dead mall I was hoping for, and I think if there ever is a sequel, we'd love to see a bigger mall section.
That numbskull's been in there too dang long. He can hoof it back to the farm.
Sticking for the bargains. Welcome to the Punchbowl Mall.
Come on now, old Otis is in a hurry. I know you won't fail me, old trusty iron steed.
Futuristic gadgets, gizmos.
I'm alone on the farm. It's my dream. With no self-esteem. And at night, I head out to the barn. And I...
Red alert! The final ring! The fourth trumpet! Low, deadly, black-hearted brain eater from beyond the grave! Worldwide eternal Frankenstein living damn slavery!
Now, Otis's farm is a bit of a mixed bag. It harkens back to the old Night of the Living Dead films, even with Otis's shack being built similarly. The cornrows can provide you some visual cover from enemy fire, and your possession will come in handy as the enemies do pack a punch. As with a couple of the levels, the motivation here is just to get through to the end. In this case, we're trying to get some revenge on Otis himself. There's even a small driving section mixed in. Now, these hillbillies have been preparing for the day they might have to fight back against their own government, and as such, they're packing absolute heat. LMGs, dynamite, the works. Otis's shack is barricaded, but we will have a lot of fun breaking in. And after fighting through the various hallways, we come face to face with the big man himself.
Now just hold it right there. Asketh the Lord, and he shall provideth. Well, the Lord done provideth me with enough of trinitrotoluene to blast you all the way back to Moscow. Don't even try to run. You ain't getting away from me. No one gets away from Otis Monday, not even you. Hey there, fella. Long time, eh? Huh? Son of a bitch! remember what you are supposed to do.
Yes, drop the antibacterial solution in the main treatment basin and activate the agitators to ensure that the water supply is untainted.
Don't screw it up.
If you're so concerned, why don't you do it?
Try not to think.
Welcome to the Punchbowl Dam, where our motto is, damn it.
Now our next section takes us back to 50s sci-fi rather than our typical zombie setup, the Punchbowl Dam. Stubbs arrives here and his motivation revolves around, I kid you not, needing to piss. This level feels like the police station just expanded somewhat, with tight hallways and gun-wielding enemies. Instead of police with pistols, you've got scientists with ray guns, and some of those ray guns absolutely spank you. You've got to play a bit more refined here, but the essence of choosing your own path is still in there, and there's plenty of opportunity for that. There's one especially memorable section where there's a load of zombies behind a glass wall, and if you smash through said glass wall, you can let them loose, and it just causes absolute bedlam.
Security and I'm still so young.
I'll show you, Siren! Don't eat me!
Once we manage to actually work to the top of the dam, we enter the funniest minigame section in the game.
Oh, yeah! How about a little piss?
Warning, water contamination detected. Isolate and remove contaminants immediately.
We have to balance fighting off enemies while pissing in the water supply, and I actually found the number of enemies wasn't infinite. So I'd do a little rotation, then I'd start a piss, and then I'd repeat and rinse, if you can mind the pun.
Attention all dam personnel. We have worries. The power coil is overloading. Make sure none of those things step inside the breaker boxes. If they overload the breakers, the entire dam could... Well, try not to think about it.
Stop panicking. This is nothing. The only way this could turn out bad is if they start walking between the breaker terminals and completing the circuit, and that's just insane. Oh no.
After that part, we move closer to the dam wall itself, and we're tasked with a little bit of variation of dropping off zombies to disrupt the dam's power. It's a unique twist that we're having to defend our own mooks instead of leaving them to fend for themselves, though. Once that is done, the dam was a weird section in my head because plot-wise, Stubbs just needed a piss and then he's like, oh, we're going to smash the dam. I get we're trying to destroy the city, but it just... Some of the levels, there seems to be a bit of a mismatch between, the end of one level and the beginning of the next, and that does come off as a bit of a running theme.
A breaking story from the Punchbowl Dam, where the zombie who's been terrorizing the city is apparently cornered. Our roving reporter Jimmy Nesbitt is on the scene now and reporting live by telephone. Jimmy.
Oh God, help me! I don't want to die!
We appear to be experiencing some interference. I'm sure Jimmy will be back soon with his full report. This just in. Punchbowl Action News, your source for the news as it happens, has received a report of a 200-foot column of putrescent water approaching the... Action News, still coming to you live from City Hall, where the lovely and glamorous Maggie Mundy is here to share her thoughts about this shocking chain of events.
I think it might be best if we all left town for a while, until the authorities get things...
Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Monday here. No, don't stand up. It's been a trying day. I want you all to know that I'm as shocked by these strange and terrible events as anyone, especially the flash flood, which has cost me millions in property damage.
Property damage? Andrew, how can you worry about that when people are dying?
Leave me alone.
Anyway, folks, it sure has been rough. I won't deny it. But Punchbowl will rise above these minor calamities. I invite everyone to calm down. Just take a deep breath and enjoy the rest of your day in Punchbowl. Everything is going to be fine.
With the dam busted and our piss coursing through the veins of any citizen with a running tap, Punchbowl has seen better days. Stubbs' motivation in this one is to kill Andrew Monday. We're just navigating our way through army blockades. The city succumbing to the zombie virus. The soldiers have a few caveats. Some have helmets and so can't be possessed or have their brains eaten, and most, if not all of them, have some form of assault rifle, making them lethal in groups. Realistically, any of the enemies now, one-on-one with one of your mook zombies, will just take the zombie out. You can't rely on your horde alone. And this level is a lot more puzzle focused. While some areas do have multiple routes, there's more wrong answers than right. You're contending with landmines that you either have to set off or actively avoid, snipers, which I found best to deal with via the hand, and one of the coolest bits about this sequence is you really feel like you're leading a zombie army. They even give you several sections where you need to build up the hordes to break down barriers that Stubbs alone can't deal with. I'd compare this section to Land of the Dead. It's pretty neat. Eventually though, we do make our way into Dr. Y's lab.
Catastrophic power grid failure detected. Electrical power may be intermittent while we switch to fail-safe power cells. Have a nice day.
You! No one is safe as long as you are here. The army will blow the whole place to pieces just to get at you. I will make you a deal. If you can make it to my private lab without destroying everything, I would be willing to.
Y's lab goes exceptionally quick, and it's more akin to the police station or the dam mission, where we're advancing through corridors and adjacent rooms. The scientists from the dam make a return with their weapons, though overall you can absolutely blast through this stage. There's not really much to add up until we get to the end of the stage.
Activate force field! Now that I have captured the Alpha Zombie, I'm on the verge of the greatest scientific breakthrough in human history. I have been studying your tissue samples. Truly fascinating. Did you know your reanimation is the result of a catalytic reaction with the grass fertilizer I developed for Punchbowl? I can see this is wasted on you. No matter. Soon you will be on the slab providing raw material for my greatest experiment. Look at her. A perfect citizen for the perfect city. Smart, healthy, loyal. And now, thanks to your zombie DNA, practically immortal. Obviously, there are still a few bugs to work out.
Face to face with Dr. Y himself, and we saw his devious plan for a line of perfect, blonde-haired, blue-eyed citizens. Now you need to power down his force field using the central column's buttons. Then Bob and Weave tried to hit him where you can, avoiding some of his devastating attacks. And these are devastating, don't get me wrong.
Warning, energy levels critical. System will shut down. Energy threshold exceeded.
Eventually we do get reacquainted with an old friend.
I hope you like the taste of formaldehyde, because you're going to be swimming in it.
Hey, what's a pup butt gotta do to get a little action around here?
Oh!
Hey, sweet cheeks, back that thing up. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Come on back here. Don't go away. Don't leave. Don't walk away, man. Come on, I'm talking to you. Back. Come on over here. For crying out loud, you little tease. I kind of love you, and I think you're kind of cute. Hey, where are you going?
There's only one thing I love more than flowers and candy, and that's a man who brings me flowers and candy. Pick up some roses and truffles for that special someone today.
Now we finally get to see the true motivation for Stubbs here. Maggie Monday and her sweet patootie. We've got a section of destroyed streets again, which playing back I feel must have been split apart from the last street section in development. They feel like they would have been one continuous level and someone just chopped them down the middle. Everything plays out like the last street section, just with the addition of a tank. We also have to deal with the increased firepower of the military, this time using strategic choke points and LMGs. Eventually though, we will blast through this section and approach City Hall. We get serenaded by Monday's private security, and I'm going to let it play out because their vocals are just chef's kiss.
The party will start when we tear out your heart and flay your flesh to ribbons. Stop all your stones and feed them to a pack of rabid kittens.
City Hall itself is a mad dash. Everything here can kill you, and your undead hordes won't be much help. This area is super lethal. We have to use our ability strategically, and if you die, they let you know about it. Eventually, we end up getting to deal with Monday's right hand.
I've got it all worked out, dead man. Once I kill you, Maggie's heart will be mine. Oh, broads love it when you kill for them. Let's end this. Mono a mono, just you and me.
And me.
And me. And me.
And with him gone, Monday himself and a big reveal.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Well, look who's come crawling back, Mr. I don't need a guide bot. I'm just going to run around eating brains so guide bot gets stuck answering phones. I was just chatting about you with the central computer for the U.S. military. Apparently there's an airstrike on the way, but I'm sure that wouldn't interest you. I'm heading out now. Beat the rush, you know. Would you be a dear and tell Mr. Monday he's got 5 minutes before the whole town goes up in smoke? Thank you so much. Don't hurt me. Don't eat my brain. It's all I've got. Help! Andrew! Somebody! Oh my... Those eyes. That nose. That tie.
Mother! Get back! That thing has destroyed my whole city, and I won't let him do the same to you.
Don't do this, Andrew.
Get out of the way, Mother.
I love that zombie.
Excuse me?
It was a hot summer night in 1933. I was just a girl.
Yes?
He was quite a man. I couldn't resist his charms.
Come inside.
Everything was real sweet until Father got home. He dragged my little Eddie out, and that was the last I saw of him. Until now. Father never told me what happened to him. But 9 months later, I had a little something to remember him by.
Are you telling me my daddy was a traveling salesman who eats brains?
Oh, Andrew, try not to be such a pill.
You destroyed my city. You killed my family. And now I suppose you want to kill me. Well, go ahead. Go ahead and try, Dad.
The fight with Monday himself is simple if not repetitive. Do enough damage to his 2 layers of shields to get to the man himself. I found it quite fun, even though it was a bit easy. It used a combination of gut grenades and possessing the dandies, and just eventually it leads to Andrew's death, and the best credit scene in history.
I've never been to Paris, I've never been to Rome.
I'm going to cut the credits short and let them play after the video. I just wanted to hit my conclusion first. Overall, the game is good. Short but good. There's an achievement in the game to finish it within 2 hours, and I think that's really achievable. I think if this game was remade with modern tech and a few more hours of gameplay, we could be onto something special. The game does show its age, but for an experimental title, it really is fun. You feel like an uber zombie, you feel like you're leading a charge. The story carries through despite being very loose on the frame of the game. Stubbs' revival to reach his ex-lover is a nice loop. The comedy of the game shines, from the voice lines to the city bits. If you go back on the cutscenes and check, you can look at the police reg in the police station, or Otis' farm's called Knob Cheese Farm, Otis' license plate itself. They even managed to poke jokes at some more serious topics like the Nazis with Dr. Wine as perfect citizens. The game definitely suffers from its length, and some of the levels could do with a bit more polish, but I could definitely recommend this game. It's only £16 on Steam and it's a total bargain. 7 out of 10, over and out, Smooth Brains.
I've never been to Paris, I've never been to Rome. The outside world's not what I'm thinking of. I'm happy just to stay. I'm happy just to stay in my new futuristic home. 'Cause Punchbowl's where I want to fall in love. To fall in love. Friends will talk of travel and places that they've been. I act as if I care to be polite. I wonder if they'll ever know the wonders that I've seen in Punchbowl, where my lover keeps me warm at night. You can feel the magic when you walk down any street. The smiles of cheer that will appear on everyone you meet. When everything is automatic, you'll always find yourself ecstatic. Then true love will make your life complete. Don't ask me if I'm staying, I never want to leave. This city's built to fit me like a glove. Now every day's a holiday. Each night is New Year's Eve. 'Cause Punchbowl's where I want to fall in love. 'Cause Punchbowl's where I want to fall in love.